Here is Joshua, the person who could most closely be called the real Jesus. Many things he never said were attributed to him in the Bible, but some things he really did say. They weren't said to huge crowds on a shore while he sat in a boat, as it says in the Bible. Nor were these things preached from a mountainside. No, they were said quietly and in secret, like here, by this fire.
Huh. Well, what did he say?
Parables, coded language, what I know now to be a warning. Listen carefully. The parable of the net. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. They sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come down and separate the wicked from the righteous, and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's recorded in Matthew chapter 13.
He's warning people about hell, right?
That's what I thought at first as well. But I think he was speaking to me directly, trying to tell me something else.
What?
Adam, think about it. Jesus reiterated his warning in the parable of the weeds. He told us of a farmer whose enemies planted weeds in his field of wheat. The farmer allowed the weeds to grow so that the wheat would not be pulled up with them. But during the harvest, the farmer had his servants pull up all the weeds first and burn them. Then he had them harvest the wheat and store it in his barn. This was supposedly his analogy for heaven, the servants, like angels, separating the wicked from the righteous, burned the wicked and brought the righteous into heaven. Later, Jesus gave the warning a third time in the parable of the shepherd. He never actually called himself the shepherd, though it says differently in the Bible. The people are the sheep, you see, and he tells of how the hired hands run when a wolf attacks the flock and scatters it, but the shepherd, who has more of a vested interest in the sheep, stays to protect them from the wolf and see them safely to the farm.
And you don't think he was warning people about the devil and hell and being led away from God?
No. I think that's what he wanted Yahweh to see, a red herring. But I think he was trying to tell me something else entirely. But I failed to realize.
What? What was he trying to tell you?
He was trying to tell me that indeed the fishermen separate the good fish from the bad. But what happens to the good fish regardless? They too go into a fire for cooking. Indeed, the workers separate the weeds from the wheat, but what happens to the wheat? It goes into the oven and into a belly. Indeed, the shepherd protects the sheep from the wolf. But when the wolf attacks, most of the sheep actually survive. On the other hand, what happens to the sheep if they actually make it to the farm? They're sheared for their wool and slaughtered for their meat. Not like what a wolf would naturally do, snatching up one or two, but instead systematically and thoroughly using them as a resource. No escape. Each case has a common theme. The fish would be better off if never caught. The wheat would be better off if never harvested. And the sheep would be better off to escape from the shepherd and take their chances with the wolf.